All right. Good morning, ladies. And today's topic is focus. So if you look at, the word focus, I think the first time I heard of focus was the focus of a camera. You focus it in such a way that you get a clearer picture. So I feel along with focus, what goes well is clarity. And all of us want clarity in our lives. So that is what I hope by the end of today's session, we will arrive at that space, or maybe at the end of this week, we may arrive at the space of clarity of where we want to be. Okay. I'm sorry, we went a little ahead. So the flow of the session is very simple. What is the definition of focus? How to direct attention? Strategies to focus in daily life. What do we need to do so that in daily life, to keep away from all the distractions that we have, what are the strategies we need to use? Who is the focused leader? And what is triple focus? Okay, I'm going to share that with you. So today's topic, the first one is, I know this is jumping. All right. So focus. What is the definition of focus? The definition is to concentrate attention or effort focus on the most pressing needs. The meaning of focus is directing your attention to something that needs attention. So here we are using focus and concentration as the same meaning, okay? But between concentration and attention, there is a difference. So what is attention? Attention gives direction to our thinking and behavior, whereas concentration helps us to keep our attention focused on what we need to be doing to reach our goals. So if you will see the difference, attention is level 1, where you are first thinking, now, where do I direct my attention? It's like you go into a mall, you have a goal that you want to buy this lovely outfit for yourself. So now you're directing your attention to choosing an outfit. But once you enter the mall and you see the whole women's section, it's crazy. There are so many kinds of clothing. Now you decide at that point, I need an outfit, but this outfit is for an evening out, or maybe you want to wear it for an evening dinner. So then you have to look for very specific kind of outfits. Now your concentration is to get an outfit, go to that section in the mall where you will find this particular outfit, right? So now your focused attention, and you will concentrate on what you really want. And when you do that, very quickly, you will be able to find what you are looking for. Otherwise, you know how crazy women go in a mall. All right. So concentration refers to the ability to give your attention or thought to every single object or activity. Now, directing attention. We think it is very easy, but it is not. We usually carry very broad goals in our mind. It's like going to buy a dress in a mall. Now, when we are not sure what is it that you want, your attention is like divided, because everything in the industry or outside or in the consumer world is waiting or is trying to grab your attention. Imagine even a simple scrolling that you do on Instagram or on Facebook. Every ad is vying for your attention. Every reel is vying for your attention. Now, if you don't know what you want, you will be lost in this sea of overstimulation. But if you are very focused as to where you want to direct your attention, so especially now I have friends who are in the field of self-development. So if you are a woman who is wanting to maximize her potential, then you are very clear that your attention is drawn to those posts or to those teachers or to those facilitators who will take you on that journey. Rather than you sitting and watching some, maybe cookery videos, you are now going to watch videos that are going to bring you some form of self-transformation. But if you are a woman who wants to hone her cookery skills, then you will watch and direct your attention only to cookery shows, or maybe something that is related to that particular field. So the primary task is to direct your attention. And one must learn to focus their own attention. And this you can do only by knowing where is it that you want to go. If I know where I have to go, then I can direct my attention. But every time we don't know where we want to go. So there will be a phase where you will be in this transition. All right. And that is also okay. So when you don't know, now suppose you're just walking into a mall and you're just, or you've just gone for a walk in the evening and you don't know what you want to do. You're just walking. And then suddenly something draws your attention. Now that is called mind wandering. We will talk about that. That is, again, a very different way of knowing what grabs your attention. Okay. But if you want your conscious mind to create, like how we discussed in all our previous seminars, if you want your conscious mind to drive you, then you have to be very clear where you are directing your attention. So the word attention comes from the Latin word attendere, meaning to reach towards. You are reaching towards something, thinking about one thing while filtering out distractions. What you are doing now, what you are thinking about now. So many a times there is a difference between what you are doing in the current moment and what you are really thinking about. So some of us are in the class, of course, we are just 5 of us who are here, but sometimes when you attend class or maybe even at workplace, you are attending your work and you're doing your work, but your mind is elsewhere. You're thinking something else. You want to be somewhere else. Maybe you want that vacation. So even paying attention to your thoughts, where is my attention being taken now? If my attention is in, maybe I'm in Mumbai, but I want to be in Goa, or I'm in Malta, but I want to be in the US. So notice where your attention is going. And usually there is a gap, which is 50% attention gap between what you are doing and what you are thinking. That is if you're not in awareness. But if you're in awareness, you know very clearly where you want to go, then that attention gap can reduce. Then there is a term called mind wandering. Now, many teachers, many neuroscientists and also psychologists, they talk about this term called wandering mind or mind wandering. Now, there are pros and cons for mind wandering as well. Mind wandering means you're just allowing your mind to move or to be in a space where it's trying to find a way. It's like going on a journey. The mind is going on a journey. And when you're doing that, you're opening up your possibilities of getting something new in your life, some new information, some new stuff. And at the same time, if your mind is wandering too much, where you really don't know where you are going. So you are everywhere. Idhar bhi ja rahe hai, you're going here, you're going there, you're going everywhere. And that is not going to be a happy space. So mind wandering also comes with a caveat that you allow the mind wandering, and at some point you will also be sure that when the mind has wandered, if it has reached a particular space where your attention is grabbed, then now you will focus on that particular object or thought. Let's go to the next one. The types of attention. There are 4 types of attention or even more. One is sustained attention. What is sustained attention? Is holding and maintaining attention over a period of time, which is necessary for focus and concentration. Now imagine you are working in a particular office or you're working somewhere and you have to prepare a project report. You have a deadline and you need to really focus on that particular report. Now that you take your time, you sit in your cubicle or you sit in your space, and and we are going to do strategies also later about focusing, and you are completely paying your attention to that particular report that you are working on. Okay. Now that is special focus and concentration which is needed in learning, listening, even paying attention during conversations or instructions. Okay. Then comes selective attention. So sustained attention is mainly when you are in a meeting and you're paying attention to what is being spoken or in conversation. But what I spoke about, like if you are making a report or you're doing some particular activity, that is called selective attention, which is paying attention to a specific input by the brain's ability to select the input we pay attention to. So you are now consciously selecting that I want to study or I want to focus on my exercise right now. That is where you are directing your attention to. Then we have something called as alternating attention. So this is an ability to switch or immediately transfer focus from one activity to another. Now this is, there's another slide on this, which is called switching tasks. And I'll also talk to you how the brain works when we switch tasks. We feel, okay, it's very easy for me to jump from this to this, but there is a lot of activity happening in the brain and we need to understand that. So switching points of concentration is needed to make sudden switches in alternating attention. So for example, you are sitting and you are, you're doing some work at home, and suddenly your child comes and, or the child needs something. And you are now switching your attention from what you're doing to what the child is doing. So it's alternating between, you're watching your child, okay, the child is playing there, but your attention is also there as well as at your workplace. So that is alternating attention, and it requires cognitive skills as well. Then you have divided attention, one's ability to focus on two or more things at the same time. Now, this has been glorified in today's world, okay? And a lot of people have a lot of pride and they say, oh my God, we are multitaskers, we can do this, and especially women. But I feel women are gifted because as mothers, especially when we become mothers, we have to be multitasking. You're constantly thinking about what needs to be cooked for the family. If you're a working woman, along with being a mother, then you're thinking about work as well. You're taking care of, your kids, your husband needs something or something else. We are constantly multitasking, but we also have a price to pay for doing that because you're overusing your your energy in the brain and you can feel drained as well. So that is divided attention. All right. So just a little bit of explanation. So selective attention is focusing on one thing. Divided attention is attention switching. And sustained attention is you are very continuously focused on something for a long time. So somebody who wants to write a book or write an article or is doing art, is creating something in some form, writing a blog or doing an artwork, is doing a sculpture, then their sustained attention becomes very, very important. Now, what are the different strategies that we need to focus in our daily life? Now, sabse pehle, right in the beginning, we need to develop clarity on our goals. What is it that I want? Many a times we don't have the clarity. Okay, so make a simple goals checklist. There are many teachers like Jack Canfield and all of them. They talk about make at least 10 goals and all of that. I tried 10 goals, friends. When you don't achieve even 5, you get so frustrated and and you say, oh, I can't do this, I can't achieve anything. And, and it can lead you to a state of despair. So instead of that, make small goals, have 1 or 2 or maximum 3 goals, but then be focused on them, that at least I will see that I can achieve. Or like last time we spoke about habits, like one keystone habit, which is exercising. So one habit and it can affect different areas of your life. All right. So something like that. So make your own goal. Don't make a goal which is someone else's. It has to be your own. Make them meaningful for you. Just because everybody is on this weight loss spree, you don't have to be on a weight loss spree. Ask yourself whether you really want to go on that. Or are you getting into a healthy lifestyle your goal? Then weight loss and every day going and checking your weight doesn't become important for you. But eating healthy, okay, getting at least 30 minutes of exercise daily, that becomes important. So it's very important how you even, create and prepare your goal. Flexible, the goals have to be flexible and it has to be in alignment with your values. It has to be also realistic. Okay, so ladies, don't make these ekdam far-fetched goals. Many of us make this, especially in January, everybody is making goals. Don't do it. Take your time, make these small little goals, complete those, finish that. Because if you remember from one of the classes on on how the brain works. When you accomplish a goal, then there is a surge of dopamine. And the dopamine is the neurotransmitter which is released. It makes you feel very happy that you have accomplished a goal. Now, imagine you have put 10 goals and you don't even achieve one. You're going to feel miserable. Rather, do 1-2 goals, achieve it, and then keep increasing your benchmark. Okay, so that's going to help your dopamine. All right. Now, one of the main strategies is how you can eliminate unnecessary distractions. So a lot of people say, oh, you know what, I get distracted very easily. My brain cannot focus. I cannot focus all the time. I'm so distracted. And in today's world, especially, the biggest distraction is our phone. As much as it is a boon, but it is also a bane for us, because there are 20,000 things vying for our attention. And this keeps us overstimulated. Now, imagine if you're stimulated, Facebook chal raha hai, there is Instagram, then there is LinkedIn happening, and you have to be on the top of the game. Oh my God, it's like my husband talks about, have you read this tweet? Have you done this? Thankfully, I'm not on Twitter. I mean, I'm on Twitter, but I don't check Twitter every day. But I've got enough of these other things. There's Facebook, there's LinkedIn, there is WhatsApp, there is Instagram happening, and so much more. Am I becoming a consumer of all this information and overstimulating myself, or am I using it to achieve my goals? So how do you eliminate these distractions? How do we focus better if we are bombarded with information? So what we do is you block time in your schedule to do a specific task or activity. So the good old system is, in schools, we had timetable. From 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock is English lecture. 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock is, history. When you kind of plan your day, and of course, don't be very rigid. Sometimes you can be flexible as well. Suppose you're not able to do the task and you feel tired or you're sleepy. Be kind to yourselves also. So during this time, request you to be left alone and go to a place where others are unlikely to disturb you. So many a times I've seen, people nowadays, people go to Starbucks, they'll sit in a corner, but I feel I cannot work in a Starbucks. It is too overstimulating for me because I'm a very sensory person. So the smells of coffee, the sounds of people talking, and all the artwork that is there, the beautiful decor, it's a struggle for me to be, in one place. I'm all over. So that's not a place for me. So you have to find out what is the kind of place that helps you to concentrate better. Close social media and other apps, silence your notifications, keep your phone hidden and put it in the bag, because you keep it even on the table. If you keep it, you are tempted to check. My notifications have been silent for last 5 years, and still I am tempted, because one of the teachers I was listening to, and I'll send that video, I'll send the TED talk on the group later. The attention span for any human today is 40 seconds without getting distracted. And if we see children, it is even lesser for them. So, the person, the author, he was saying that I'm not worried about the adult generation. I'm worried about the children, because they have such little attention gap. I mean, quickly they are moving from one thing to another, and they're so distracted. And today we see mothers, we live in city. I don't judge mothers who are giving a phone to their child so that they eat, because I have done the same too. Of course, my time there was no phone, but we would put TV. I would switch on the TV and I would play some nursery rhymes and, get the children to be, dazed in the song, and then they are eating. Of course, it was not a good habit to inculcate. But at that time, when I had to rush to work and, everything was on a timetable, I have to take that particular train to go to work. I can't sit and wait for the child to take forever to eat. So many things we have done, which have, made us fall prey to these different kinds of spaces where distraction has been allowed in our lives. Keep your primary focus to complete what you need to do. shutting off both internal and external disturbances that help you concentrate. This is a big one, my dear friends. The power to say no. As soon as you are aware of your goals, okay, ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now helping me to achieve my goals and live a fuller life, a soul-directed life? And then you have to say no at many levels. The first level is saying no to the inner negative voice. Now, suppose you want to really do something good for yourself in your life. The inner critic will come. The critic can be the voice of the mother or the critical father, critical mother or critical father. And it will say, you're not good enough. What can you do? Oh, what? You're a trainer. What rubbish. I don't think you can even stand there and speak 2 lines. Oh, you want to put out a web series. You want to do webinar. What rubbish. What knowledge you have. That is the inner critic. Say no to that inner critic. Build the inner cheerleader. So this is for the one inside. Outside. Now, if I have to do a webinar every Saturday, it's a commitment that I'm giving to myself. That means I'm saying no to some of the other things. Okay. Today is a Saturday. My husband and I are at home. We would love to go out and, just chill, maybe go to the market and do things together. But because I've committed my time here, I'm saying yes to this and I'm saying no to him. Okay. And maybe later in the day, we will go out. So saying no becomes very, very important when you have to focus on a particular goal that you are working towards. Say no to other people who are not aligned with your task at hand. So many times we have parents who we live with, we have in-laws, we have others, we have friends who wants to party, and you have certain goals in your mind. They don't align with what you are and they don't get you at some level. Say no to such people, and especially if they are toxic people. Saying no is one of the most important points of focusing on your goals. We spoke about multitasking. Now look at this picture. This is the brain when you are doing a single task. The prefrontal cortex and all this front portion is fully involved in the task. When you take on 2 tasks, what happens? Divided attention. So for task 1, one half of the brain uses that attention, and the second task, another part of the brain. That means the brain capacity that was supporting task 1 maybe was 100%, has now got divided into 50 and 50. Now imagine if you bring a third task, what happens in the brain? And this is, mind you, this is science. This is not my mumbo jumbo, not Evelet's story. This is science and this has been proven. They have done, brain scans and they have found this. When the person picks on a third task, the first task is eliminated because there is no place there. Brain can maximum function on 1 big task or 2 tasks, not on 3 tasks at the same time. Okay. So attempting to perform multiple activities at the same time can make us feel very productive, but it's a recipe for lower focus, poor concentration, and lower productivity. And you know how much? 40% lower productivity. So if you want to be this person who excels at her workplace, who excels in what she does, okay, we all want to be masters. There are many who are jack of all trades. Do you want to be this master who knows her stuff, who's good at what she does? Then you need to focus on that 1 or 2 tasks at hand. And this is science. So when we have the knowledge, use it to your advantage. Examples of multitasking include listening to a podcast while responding to an email, or talking to someone over the phone while writing your report. Yes, we do this many a times. So you're neither paying attention to the person who's talking to you, and neither are you paying full attention, undivided attention to your report. When you're doing this, stop the report. Okay, and I'll show you the next slide where we talk about switching tasks. Listen to the person who's calling you. Because if you want to be a focused leader, then you have to hear, you have to listen to what is coming to you. Okay, and such multitasking not only hampers your ability to focus, but also compromises your work quality. Another big one, practice mindfulness and meditation. We know this. During the meditation process, the brain gets calmer. We have studied this in the last few classes. If you have missed, the talks are there on YouTube. You can go and listen to them all over again. The brain goes into the brain waves of alpha and then theta waves. So your brain is totally in a relaxed space. And whatever you are now doing is taken in. Okay, you can focus on your breath, you can relax your body, and your mind will not be distracted by many of these other thoughts. All right. And mindfulness practices, there are dime a dozen mindfulness practices. You can watch some video, and maybe if you want, I can do a class on mindfulness and actually teach you mindfulness meditation. Get more sleep. Okay. So one of the things of having an unfocused mind, one of the points is that we don't get good sleep. And it's a vicious cycle. You don't sleep, you feel unfocused. You feel unfocused, you don't get sleep. You know, you are distracted. There are too many things. So one of the things they talk about is before you go to bed, at least 1 hour before you go to bed, stay away from any of the screens, because the blue light is stimulus. It is stimulating your brain. So the light will stimulate your eye retina and prevent the secretion of melatonin, which promotes sleep anticipation in the brain. Another habit, many of us put on night lamps. So melatonin is one of the hormones which is released at night from the brain, which helps you to sleep. But if you put on this night light, the brain feels it is daytime and melatonin is not released. Okay. And that then will, you will get sleep, but it will not be deep and restful sleep. How many of us sleep and wake up in the morning as if I'm ready to go back to sleep? Many of us. So try and avoid this blue light before you, or electronic devices before you go to bed. If you have Wi-Fi in your bedroom, please switch it off at night. Okay, nothing is going to happen in the night. Switch off the Wi-Fi. You can keep it on your phone, but the main Wi-Fi terminal, you can switch that off. So you don't have additional waves. But just because you can't see it doesn't mean they are not there. They are present. So I have seen the difference that it makes by keeping the Wi-Fi on and the Wi-Fi off when I go to sleep. Avoid exercising very late in the day. See, many people have, I was talking to my daughter, she goes to the gym and she says, Ma, the gym is open till 11:30 at night. And people go and, they are doing exercise on the treadmill and all of that at 11 o'clock at night. And I was wondering whether they even sleep, or maybe these are the night owls and then they sleep during the day. But if you exercise very late in the day, you have an adrenaline rush. And an adrenaline rush means you are nice and awake and alert. So don't exercise very late in the day. Maybe up to 6 or 7, and then you have your dinner. And then you're, ready for at least 2 to 3 hours where your food is digested. So you're ready to go to bed by 10:30, 11. Yeah. So to quieten your mind and maintain a good bedtime routine and schedule. The next is take breaks. Very important. Now, yesterday I was, I started preparing the slides throughout the week. I've been doing 2 slides, 3 slides. As and when I was reading the different authors and also from my own experience, I realized yesterday when I was, kind of editing, and I got very tired. And then I said, no, now I can't think well. I'm not able to concentrate. I just stopped everything, took a break. So take a break. This also might seem counterintuitive, but when you focus on something for a very long time, your focus will die down. So what you need to do is, researchers have found that our brain tends to ignore sources of constant stimulation. So taking small breaks by refocusing your attention elsewhere can improve mental concentration. So suppose you are at workplace or even at home, and you are doing some report or you're working on something, and then you suddenly feel very tired. Keep your phone, everything on your table and on your desk, and just walk in your aisle, or just go walk down, drink some water, have tea. But when you're having that cup of tea, focus on the tea. Don't keep your phone there and keep looking at the messages and having tea. Then you are not taking a break. Your brain is still working. Okay. So take a break when you begin to feel stuck, move around, maybe talk to someone. Yeah. Connecting with nature. Now, this is a big one, especially for those who are writing books, novels, or doing, big creative projects. Like I get clients who work, in the film industry, or who do these big creative sets. And it's very hard work. There's lots of work there that's happening. And from time to time, they need to take this break, go into nature, and it is said that even putting plants in your office space can give you that feeling of restfulness. They become a part of you. See, that's why in my office I have like a mini garden growing, and I really love all my plants. So finding time to take a walk in the park, appreciating plants, flowers, can boost your concentration and just make you feel refreshed. Exercise is the go-to. Okay. Now, according to Harvard Health Watch, it's a men's health watch, but it's all right, even if it's men's for humans. Regular exercise releases chemicals which are key for memory, concentration, and mental sharpness. We saw this in our first two classes on brain health, how exercise helps our brain to become more functional and improve so many of its different functions, because it's releasing all these different neurotransmitters, dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, and all of these are responsible for focus and attention. Okay. So individuals who do some form of exercise or sports perform better on cognitive tasks when compared to those who have poor physical health. So exercise is very important, but it doesn't mean that you go to the gym and exercise for 2 hours or 3 hours. The minimum requirement is 30 minutes per day, or at least 40 minutes that you can do, or 45 minutes, 3 or 4 times a week. See what feels comfortable for you. In last class where we spoke about habits, if you are a person who just hates exercising, begin with 5 minutes, begin with 10 minutes, do just spot jogging, sit and do some exercises, just buy 2 dumbbells, okay, simple, half kg dumbbells, and start the work. That is how I began, dear friends. Otherwise, it's, and do things that make you happy, especially like I like dancing. So I put on music and I dance. And for me, it's fun. More than exercise, it's fun. Now listen to music. Okay, now listening to music is also another way to focus. But not music like Bollywood songs where there are lyrics and everything, and then a particular song will play which your ex-lover used to play, and then you're doing your task and you're listening to the song and tears are rolling down your face. And sorry, that is not going to get you your focus. It's going to take you away from what your task is at hand. So what is mentioned, what neuroscientists tell us is play classical music, instrumental music, or you can also play nature sounds, water flowing, river streams, fountain, rain. Don't play thunderstorms, okay? That is scary. There is also whale music, dolphin music. So this keeps on playing in the background, okay? Don't play, or maybe play songs in a different language that you don't know. Sometimes I play these Tibetan chants, which I don't know what they mean. Like in my conscious level, my brain doesn't know. So at some point I shut off, I'm totally focused on my task at hand, but that songs are playing in the background. Okay. Next is eat well. We spoke about brain food. So as much as possible, moderate blood sugar is very important to maintain your energy and fuel the brain. Lot of fruits and vegetables. If you are a non-vegetarian, eat fish, eat, reduce sugary foods, because they can cause spikes and dips in your sugar level. And that can, so when there is a spike, you feel suddenly very alert. And when it has dipped, you will suddenly feel very sleepy. So both it can be a bane for if you want to be focused on the work that you do. Eat lots of nuts, berries, avocados, coconut oil, all of these are good fats and they are good for your brain. Every day in the morning, sit and make a small little chart of what do I need to do. There is a special time management tools, 100 time management tools. In fact, Stephen Covey, who's written the 7 Habits of an Effective Person, has written this, there is a whole time management tool that he's given. Very, very, very simple and easy. You can go and look up that one. And on a daily basis, what is my priority for today? So write that down, very important. Like this is something that I have to finish today. And these are some of the tasks that I can do today as well as I can filter it tomorrow. And there are some which are not at all important. Okay. So once you will write these tasks, the bigger jobs, then your brain gets ready to tackle these big jobs first, and then it leaves the small stuff for later. And sometimes the big task can feel very overwhelming. Okay. It's like you're planning a dinner party in your house or a lunch party, and you have to cook these 5 or 6 dishes. Okay, and there are 2 or 3 big ones like biryani. Biryani is a big dish that you have to cook, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of this. So now you will break it into smaller stuff. Like maybe one day earlier, you can marinate the chicken and you can keep, if you're making a chicken biryani, or you can, cut the vegetables or whatever, onions and the garlic, clean the garlic and keep it ready one day earlier. So breaking it into small tasks becomes very easy so that you are not overwhelmed. And identify your true priorities can help to distract your anxiety and achieve your daily goals. And this can wire your brain to achieve success. Because like I said, when you don't like you've written the to-do list, but you are not able to complete it by evening, the message to the brain is, oh, you've not done it. So dopamine is not released. And if dopamine is not released, you are not feeling happy. You're feeling, oh, I'm good for nothing. And already there is an inner critic inside, which is telling you that, you're not good enough, you're not this, you're not that. And then your action is also leading to a similar message. So don't allow that, okay? Create space for work. Less distraction, make it neat, have a desk, organizer, keep stuff where you can put all your things in order. A clutter-free desk is good. But for creative people, what they say is the more clutter on the desk, the more they can create. So it all depends on the kind of work that you do. Make it ergonomic, okay? Sit on chairs that feel comfortable for you, especially when you're doing a particular kind of work. And try to keep your space neat and well ventilated. Sometimes they've said one of the pointers, use even a timer. Like you want to do work on a report, so you want undivided attention for 1 hour and keep your phone away. Keep a timer or put on your clock on your phone, you can put a stopwatch or keep an alarm for 1 hour and then take a break and then you can reset it again. This is also one of the techniques. Then there is something called switching tasks. This is what I spoke about in the earlier slide as well, where the brain can concentrate on one task at a time. But suppose you want to bring in a new task, what really happens in the brain? So while we may want to concentrate on a particular task, sometimes we get stuck and our brain needs to do something fresh. So when we want to do something fresh, it is better to switch to the other task. So switching a task helps us to stay alert and productive. So what do? First, what you do is you stop. You inhibit or you pull yourself away from the current task that you're doing. And then you switch. Like you are currently writing a report, but now that it's getting too much for you, you stop that writing of the report and you switch the task. The switching of the task is you're moving to something else. Maybe for a long time, you wanted to clean that desk drawer. So the next task that you're switching to is cleaning the desk drawer, which is where you want to use less energy. And you get going on the new task. Once you start the new task, now focus completely on the new task. I want to clean my drawer, my table drawer, the first cabinet or the drawer. And now you have moved from your report making to cleaning your drawer. So this is something that you do very consciously with your own choice. Okay. So till now, we have done what we call how to be focused. If we want to focus on any particular activity, what are the different kind of tools or ideas that we have and backed by science that teach us how we can be focused on one particular action or activity without getting distracted and directing our full attention to it. Now, the next 3-4 slides are on who is a focused leader. So I've taken this part from one of my favorite authors. His name is Daniel Goleman, and he's written the book on emotional intelligence. This is from his book and talk series. The name of the book is also Focus. So it's called Triple Focus. Now, who is this focused leader? Now, all of us, we can focus on particular tasks. But again, as women, and most of us, we are now in that phase where we are ready to be leaders in the field that we are in. Now, to be a focused leader, what are the traits and how can we focus and use focus as our ally to be a good leader? So the first one is focusing on yourself. Now, emotional intelligence begins with self-awareness. That means you have to get in touch with your inner voice. Do only that which feels authentic to you. Don't do it because it is someone else's story. Make it your own. Only then will you be able to give your best. So self-awareness is zeroing in on sensory impressions of ourselves in the moment one of the major elements of self-awareness. The second is self-control. Cognitive control is a term for putting one's attention where one wants it and keeping it there in face of temptation to wander. So the point of learning to say no. You have to prepare this report, or you want to prepare, or you have to write this book. And there are lots of distractions. I mean, this is a big one for me as well. So if you know that you want to do this activity, then everything else has to be put aside. Okay. So this focus is one aspect of the brain's executive function, which is located in the prefrontal cortex, and it is called willpower. It's a big one. This enables executives to pursue a goal despite distractions and setbacks. So the first is focusing on yourself. Second, you focus on others. This is built on the foundation of empathy. So what is cognitive empathy? It's the ability to understand another person's perspective. Okay. This enables leaders to explain themselves in meaningful ways, which is a skill essential to getting the best performance from their direct reports. Now here, what you have to do is, you have to become a good listener and a good observer. Okay, you want to understand someone else's perspective as well, and not all the time be this controlling kind of leader who's saying, no, my way or the highway. All right. Then comes the second form of emotional empathy. What is this? Where you not only hear them, but now you also feel how they feel. And this is not me, but this is Daniel Goleman, and he is such a senior researcher and teacher. And I totally agreed with him when he taught this. So for effective mentoring and managing clients, what happens is, when we have emotional empathy, this comes from that part of the brain, which is the amygdala and the hypothalamus, okay, and all the others. What happens is, we tune in to what is arousing in our body and the emotional state of others. That means you literally feel the other person's pain. I'm not saying you get totally into their shoes fully and you lose your mind, but being fully aware, you now feel what the other person is feeling. When your brain pattern matches up, you are able to connect to the story of the person. Okay. So accessing your capacity for emotional empathy combines two kinds of attention. One, a deliberate focus on your own echoes of someone else's feelings, and an open awareness to that person's face, voice, and other external signs of emotion. Now, this is very important because today I have noticed, sometimes I even go out to have, with my friends for some chai and, for tea, for a good tea break, or, just gallivanting. We have stopped looking at each other's face. We don't look deep into each other's eyes. Your friend may say, I'm okay. How are you? I'm good. But that I am good is laced, the voice is quivering, there is pain. The eyes look as if the friend hasn't slept and there are dark circles. When you see the person in their totality, you will know exactly what the other person is going through. And if you are a good leader, then you will have this as a quality in you. Leaders cannot be those who are dictatorial. You have to feel what the other is feeling. Only then can you reach that space. And the third is empathic concern. That's part of focusing on others, where you truly feel for the person. That means the person needs some help. So suppose you're meeting a friend and the friend is in pain. How can I help you? What can I do for you? Okay. So, and you can also sense their danger. Sometimes when my son would come from school and he would say, Ma, I fell down. And when I would look at his wound, I would feel the pain in my body. I don't know how many of you have experienced this. That is because of the mirror neurons in your body. You mirror the wound in your loved one. And this is again a capacity for you to feel for the other person and say, how can I be of help to you? What can I do for you? How can I serve you? Okay. So good leader is also a one in service to the other. Then focusing on the wider world, leaders with a strong outward focus are not only good listeners, but they are good questioners as well. You are not only going to listen, but you are also going to ask the right questions. And these are visionaries. You as a leader have to be a visionary. Think about the future. Like when I was preparing for this class, my biggest concern was that how can I get children to focus better? How can I get children to bring their attention better? And now I really want to work on a plan to, get a child, to get younger children to increase their capacity to focus and to bring attention. Focusing on strategy, exploitation of your current advantage, and exploration of new ones. What does this mean? Exploitation means concentration of the job at hand, whereas exploration is open awareness to recognize new possibilities. So keep both in mind, dear sisters, exploitation and exploration. Exploitation here is not in the terms of where you are exploiting somebody else, but you are using this feature fully to focus on what is your job at hand. And at the same time, you are also exploring to make a deliberate effort to disengage from that routine and to roam widely and pursue fresh paths. So this is again a camera and focus. We want clarity in our lives. So maybe the work for this week is pick one goal or a habit that you want and create a plan on how you will focus and progress on this particular said goal. Okay? So with this, we end our class. These are the references. I'll send you the presentation so you will be able to do it. I have planned these classes for August, but we will discuss and see what is it that you want. And based on that, we can, kind of do. So I'm going to stop the recording, ladies.